How's it going, everybody? DB back with another video. It is currently 1 in the morning as I'm recording this, and yeah, I just wanted to throw out there just this little spiel. I don't normally listen to the pundits, on television, but when it comes to the MVP discussion, something just rubs me the wrong way about it. So I was listening to this Speak show with Emmanuel Acho and Joy Taylor and my guy James Jones, and the first segment that they led the show with this. I think this was yesterday's show, not today's show. They led the thing. They led the thing off with, "Is Jalen Hurts running away with the MVP award?" And all of them said yes, and all of them were like, "Well, they're 10-1." And I just wanted to talk about, like, I don't care if you use wins as a quarterback stat. I like it's just it's just kind of become the norm now. I don't really care if you want to use that. But what irritates me is we're talking about the MVP. We're talking about the most valuable player. And they just talked about, Jalen Hurts led that drive against the Bills, got him into field goal range, got it to overtime, and then the Bills went down, kicked a field goal, and then Jalen Hurts responded with the touchdown to win the game. And I thought it was really interesting because all I heard about Brock Purdy, which, by the way, Emmanuel Acho did not have Brock Purdy in his top 5 MVP candidates. It was Jalen Hurts at 1, Patrick Mahomes at 2, Tua at 3, Trent Williams at 4, and I can't remember who was at 5. Lamar was at 5. And I couldn't help but, like, Brock Purdy not being on that list is just absurd in its own right. But they just kept talking about the Eagles are 10-1, 10-1. And I think it's really funny that the Eagles got to 10-1 because Jake Elliott made a 59-yard field goal in the rain. Because the 49ers right now are 8-3. They're 2 games back of Philly. They're 8-3. And one of those 3 was because Brock Purdy led them on a game-winning drive and Jake Moody missed a 40-yard field goal in the rain. So I don't like playing the what-if game, especially when it comes to awards, because, what if Sam Howell never threw a pick this year? He'd be the MVP. Like, he'd be running away with it with the amount of yards that he's thrown. But when it comes to most valuable player, if your MVP argument is my guy's kicker made a field goal and that guy's kicker didn't, I think it's a pretty bad argument. Now, I'm not saying Jalen Hurts doesn't have an argument. Jalen Hurts has been very good this year. Philadelphia has been in a ton of tight games against a lot of really good teams, and Jalen Hurts, as many times as he's struggled, he's led them on that drive. And he's won them every game but one. But I just can't help but think that if Brock Purdy's kicker made that field goal to beat Cleveland, and the Niners were 9-2 right now, and even if Jake Elliott makes the 59-yarder like he did, and we're sitting at 10-1, there'd be a 1-game difference with a chance for San Francisco to tie it. Like, let them fight it out on Sunday. But it just seems weird to me that we could be looking at 2 9-2 teams right now if Jake Elliott misses a 59-yarder in the rain and Jake Moody makes a 40-yarder in the rain. You're looking at 2 9-2 football teams battling for the 1 seed this Sunday. So I just think that if that's going to be your argument, it's a really dumb argument. Now, I'm going to make Brock Purdy's argument here in a moment, and let's just roll through it. Let's just roll through it. So I got the stats here. He's 8th in passing yards. 8th in passing yards. So, top 10. Sam Howell and Josh Allen have both played an additional game, but that's fine. They're going to end up with 17 games anyway. So he's 8th in passing yards. Tops in completion percentage. Tops in average. By the way, he's doing this. He's 8th in yards and I believe, seventh, tied for seventh in touchdowns, while being 22nd in completions and 25th now in attempts. The man is efficient. Okay? It's just that is what it is. He has 6 fewer attempts this year than Kirk Cousins, who got hurt after week 8. He has 6 fewer attempts. And he's still 8th in yards and 7th in touchdowns. Oh, by the way, he's also still tops in QBR and passer rating. So all of the stats on the normal, like on the base level, favor him. But what about, there's a lot of people that talk about EPA. There's a lot of people that talk about these advanced analytics. Well, let's take a look at them. Quarterback stats. Total EPA. Brock Purdy's second to Josh Allen. EPA per play, he's first. Passing EPA, he's first. All of the stuff that it's like if a quarterback's really good at it, then we're probably looking okay here. Rushing EPA, he's not going to be tops, but he's still 8th. This dude is 8th in rushing EPA as a quarterback. I mean, Dak's been up there in all of them. Jalen's up there in all of them. Josh Allen's up there in all of them. These are your MVP candidates, right? Other than Josh Allen because his team is 6-6. But again, that goes back to your whole wins being a QB argument. So Michael Lombardi was asked on Pat McAfee's show about Brock Purdy. And he said, I'd give Brock Purdy my MVP vote. And I totally agree with that. But, that's fine. Here's another advanced statistic. Half the time I don't even know what I'm looking at. But I know you want to be up here. And, oh, look, it's Brock Purdy and then everybody else. It's Brock Purdy and then everybody else. He's tops in play action by a mile, and he's second behind Dak and ahead of Jalen Hurts in non-play action EPA per play. It's him and then everybody else. Oh, how about EPA man versus zone? It's him and Dak and then everybody else. And how about, dink and dunk Purdy? All he does is check down to Christian McCaffrey. All he does is swing past to Deebo Samuel, lets his guys take it. He's third in deep ball accuracy and tops in deep ball EPA. Man, that's pretty hard to do when all you do is check the ball down. That's really hard to do. How about he's taking all these deep shots because he's got the best O-line. He's got a great offensive line. Week 6 through 12, so including the 3-game losing streak, he's got the fewest % of throws from a clean pocket. Oh, but David, that's those 3 losses. Those are outliers. Okay, yeah, they're outliers. Let's include the whole season. He's 6th lowest. 6th lowest % of throws from a clean pocket, and he's still top EPA from a clean pocket, both full season and that. So here's another. Oh, but it's not a clean pocket, but they're still winning. They still have a good PFF grade. They have the 5th lowest PFF grade, and they're middle of the road at best in win rate, according to ESPN. So the offensive line isn't helping him out. How about, those 3 losses. He played terrible in those 3 losses, which we'll get to here in a moment. But he was terrible in those 3 losses. Quarterback production when trailing or tied versus leading. When leading, he's first. How about when trailing or tied? He's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, he's 5th in EPA per play when trailing or tied. Oh, well, it was all his fault. It was all his fault. He still threw the 2 interceptions. Those 3 losses were all on him. He still threw 2 picks in 2 of those games. Total quarterback EPA in games where the team ended up losing. Left side is mostly QB played well in the loss. Right side is mostly team lost to quarterback play. He is, let's see, Mac Jones at the back. That makes sense. Yeah. Kenny Pickett. Yeah. Sam Howell, he throws a lot of picks. And Tua and Lamar and Joe and Patrick and Russ and Jordan Love and CJ Stroud. And there's he's 4th. Brock Purdy is 4th in total EPA in losses. And he's behind Kirk Cousins, who, like I said, is out for the year. I'd like to once again remind people about these 3 losses. In Cleveland, he played probably his worst game. In my opinion, he played his worst game against Cleveland. One of the best defenses in the NFL, if not the best defense. Led them on the game-winning drive. Kicker missed a 40-yard field goal. That happens. Comes back the next week against Minnesota. Is 19 for 24 for, I think, 251 yards and a touchdown. And is losing by, I think they were losing by 5 at the time. I don't think the score changed much in the 4th quarter, if at all. Before he suffered a concussion on a QB sneak, and then after the QB sneak in which he suffered a concussion, he threw 2 interceptions. So he threw 2 of his 3 interceptions to that point while concussed. And then he comes back on a short week, clears concussion protocol against Cincinnati, in which his defense gave up 19 straight completions in the first half and went 22 of 31 for 365 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks, while leading the team in rushing with 57 yards. Christian McCaffrey, who? Christian McCaffrey, who? They stifled him. The Cincinnati Bengals crushed Christian McCaffrey in that game. That was a fully healthy Christian McCaffrey, by the way. I don't know if it was they just abandoned the run. I don't know what was going on. But Brock Purdy, one of the second interception in that game, totally his fault. Absolutely 100% his fault. Threw it right down the middle of the field, right at the linebacker. Don't know what he was looking at. The first one, he was trying to throw it out to Eli Mitchell at the goal line. Eli wasn't looking for the ball, and then finally looked for the ball as Purdy threw it. And then I think it was a defensive end or outside linebacker, gets like a finger on the ball, like fully outstretched arm, and it like taps it into himself. I mean, that's just a hell of a play. So I'm not going to kill him for that. But yeah, so that's my case. Like I said, I don't think he has to be number 1 right now. I have him number 1. I have Brock Purdy number 1. I have Patrick Mahomes number 2. I have I can't remember who I had at number 3. Let me pull up my cheat sheet here. I have Jalen Hurts at 3. I have CJ Stroud at 4 because what he's doing in Houston is incredible. I have Tyreek Hill at 5, and my honorable mentions are Myles Garrett and Josh Allen. And Josh Allen isn't going to win it because his team is 6-6. So, and I don't think Myles Garrett's going to win it because they don't give it to defensive players. So, yeah, that's my argument for Brock Purdy. You can do with that what you will. You can feel free to tell me he's a system quarterback or tell me that Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel and George Kittle and Trent Williams and Brandon Ayuk make him who he is, which is fine. That's fine. Just remember that, Jalen Hurts has a really good offensive line and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and, yeah. So, I don't know. I don't know where this is going. This is just kind of tailing off like all my videos do. But if you enjoyed the video, drop a like down below. Comment who your MVP is right now, who your top 5 is. And, if, like I said, If you think I'm right, think I'm wrong, let me know. But I think Brock Purdy has just as good a case as anybody right now. I have him number one. That doesn't mean you have to, but I'd like, I think it's important that arguments are full and valid, and I just don't think that that's happening all the time. So this has been my case for Brock Purdy. Like I said, if you're new, click that subscribe button, click that thumbs up if you're new, and click that bell icon so you get notified whenever I go live, whenever I upload a video. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out.